Have you ever watched a game and just wondered what is going through an athlete's head in those final make or break seconds? It's way more than just physical talent. Today, we're going to unlock the mental blueprint of a champion and really see what separates the good from the truly legendary.
So let me kick things off with a question for you. When you picture a top athlete, what do you think is their most powerful muscle? Their legs? Their arms? What about their core? Well, turns out it's actually the one right between their ears. That's right. In the world of elite sports, the mind is the ultimate game changer. So in this explainer, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to unpack that mental game. We'll look at all the key psychological pieces of that elite mindset, from an athlete's personality all the way to how they handle aggression on the field. Okay, first up, let's talk about the absolute foundation of it all, personality. I want you to think of this as the core blueprint that everything else is built on top of. So what is personality, really? It's not just one thing. It's that special mix of our thoughts, our behaviors, our emotional patterns, basically the stuff that makes us us. And to really get it in a sports context, let's break it down into 4 key dimensions. First, you've got the physical dimension. Now, this is kind of the tip of the iceberg. It's what everybody sees first, an athlete's physique, their build. It's obviously important, but it's just the surface. What really defines them is what lies underneath. And that's where we get to the mental dimension. This is what really separates the greats from the almost greats. It's not just about being smart, it's about having game intelligence, that crazy ability to read the play, make split-second decisions, and just plain out think your opponent. Then there's the social dimension. This is all about how you interact with people and influence them. In a team sport, this is absolutely critical. We're talking leadership, communication, and that ability to just lift up your entire team. And finally, the emotional dimension. This is the big one, mastering your emotions when the pressure is on. The legendary cricketer MS Dhoni was called Captain Cool for a reason. His incredible calmness in the most stressful moments, that was his superpower. Now, another way to look at personality is through Jung's idea of introverts and extroverts. You might see introverts totally crushing it in individual sports that need intense focus, right? While extroverts often thrive in those high-energy team environments. And then you've got ambiverts, who are this flexible blend of both, which can be a massive advantage in any sport. If you want to get a little more detailed, there's a model called the Big Five, and you can remember it with the acronym OCEAN. For an athlete, openness could mean you're easy to coach. Conscientiousness, that's the discipline to train like crazy. Extroversion helps with team chemistry. Agreeableness is all about good sportsmanship, and having low neuroticism means you stay cool under pressure. Okay, so we've got the personality blueprint down, but what fuels it? What gets the engine started? Well, that brings us to our next building block, motivation, that inner fire that drives every single athlete. Simply put, motivation is the why behind everything an athlete does. It's that internal energy or that external push that makes them go through all the pain and all the fatigue to reach a goal, whether that's a championship, a paycheck, or just pure personal satisfaction. And motivation really comes in 2 main flavors. You've got intrinsic motivation. That's the fire from within. You do it for the love of the game. And then you have extrinsic motivation, which comes from the outside world, chasing trophies, getting praise, earning money. Now, both are really powerful, but that intrinsic love for the sport, that's the stuff that keeps an athlete going year after year. So we have the blueprint and we have the fuel. Now, let's look at the actual tools an athlete uses to build their mental fortress. These are the practical skills that turn all that potential into peak performance. The first tool in the box is self-esteem. And this is so much more than just confidence. It's that deep down belief that you belong at this level, that you can handle the challenge. Without it, an athlete's going to crumble when the stakes are highest. Next up, we have mental imagery. Think of it as a mental rehearsal. A basketball player might visualize sinking the game-winning free throw hundreds, maybe thousands of times before they even step on the court. What that does is it trains the brain and the body for success, so when the moment comes, it feels almost automatic. Then there's self-talk. You know that little voice in your head. We all have it. Champions learn how to become their own inner coach. They silence the doubt. They turn up the volume on that positive, motivational voice that keeps them laser-focused, especially when things get tough. And finally, goal setting. Now, this isn't just about winning the big championship at the end of the year. Elite athletes set tiny daily goals,
Like, I'm going to improve my time by a tenth of a second. And those little goals, they provide clear direction and a constant source of fuel.
All right, let's move on to a trickier topic, aggression. In sports, it often gets a bad rap, but it's not quite that simple. See, there are different kinds of aggression, and understanding the difference is really, really important. First, you've got hostile aggression. This is purely about trying to hurt someone, and it's driven by anger. Then there's instrumental aggression, which is more tactical. Think of a hard but legal tackle in football to get the ball. The goal isn't to injure the player, it's to win the play. And finally, you have assertive behavior, playing with intensity, with passion, but always, always within the rules. Champions live in that assertive space. So let's bring this all together. We've seen how personality, motivation, all those mental tools, and controlled aggression, how they all combine to forge that mental edge that truly defines a champion. And here's the most important thing to take away from all of this. An athlete's mindset isn't something they're just born with. It is a skill. It is built, it is trained, and it is strengthened through hard work and practice, just like any other muscle in your body. Which really just leaves us with one final thought. Whether you're an athlete or not, all of these principles apply to you. Your mindset is a choice. So the real question is, how are you going to build yours?